That's right, crypto is everywhere right now. You're seeing it all over the news, all over YouTube. It's blowing up your Twitter feed probably. And so because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and do probably the only crypto video that I'm gonna make this year. That's right, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Instead of milking this for like 10, 20, 30 videos, I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat what cryptocurrency I think are going to do very well for the rest of this bull run in 2021. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. Number one on the list is going to be Aave, and Aave is basically just a decentralized lending system. This is going to allow borrowers and lenders to lend money to each other without having to go through a middleman. Right now, there are a lot of websites out there that will allow you to personally lend money to a random person on the internet. However, they are very risky for one, and for two, a lot of the time the website itself is going to take a significant cut. Now, I really don't have too much time to go into what all of these cryptos do. I'm going to go over like 20 to 30 cryptocurrency and blockchain in this video. And so if I explained all of them, it would be like an hour and a half. But overall, I'm very excited about Aave. I think it's a fantastic project. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one into S tier. S for stocks just can't compete. Next, we're going to be talking about Algorand, and it's basically more of a blockchain network, and the main function that it has is to improve scalability and security within the blockchain itself. And without getting into too many details, this is basically going to go along the lines of facilitating a borderless economy. So in my opinion, this one is really undervalued, especially right at the moment, and you can also get really good returns if you stake it. And that's basically going to be somewhere around 8 to 10% returns per year. That is at least right now. If the economy goes down, it'll probably go down as well. But yeah, this is another really good one. Big fan of Algorand, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this one into S tier. S for speed. All right, so the next one on the list is going to be Barn Bridge Protocol, and this one is basically all about tokenizing risk. This is another really cool decentralized finance project, and basically what it does is it makes it to where if you're somebody who has a higher risk tolerance, you can invest that way, and if you're someone who has a very low risk tolerance, for instance, you're about to retire and you don't want to really risk your, net worth because you're going to need it in retirement, you're not going to have an income, then you can basically have a lower risk tolerance portfolio. All right, so I swear that not all of these are going to be S tier. I'm doing this list alphabetically. I guess, that old saying that if you want a successful company, you should name it starting with an A or a B, something at the very top of the alphabet. You're going to have better chances of success, but this one is also going to go into S tier. S for seriously, you couldn't come up with a better name than Barn Bridge Protocol. Bruh. Next one on the list is going to be Binance Coin. This is the coin that the biggest exchange in the world, Binance, uses. And this coin is basically used to pay for all the different fees that you have on Binance. You can also get rewarded this coin if you participate in different Binance related projects. And then on top of that, Binance is really getting into DeFi, decentralized finance. And so this coin is going to play a role in that as well. So one thing I want to say about this list, because I know that people treat their coins almost like a religion these days. Like if you say their coin's not the best coin in the world, people are just going to get super triggered about it. This list I put together, first of all, it's just my opinion. I'm just some random dude on the internet. I've been participating in crypto since like 2015, but again, it's just my opinion. I'm some random dude on the internet. Make sure to do your own research on this. And then also, I'd just like to say that these are coins that I see doing very well for the rest of this particular bull run, which it will likely end by the end of the year. So some of these coins might do better in the long run, but this is me just predicting sort of what's going to happen in the short run in 2021. So in my opinion, some of these coins are undervalued, some of them are overvalued. That doesn't mean that any of them are better than any of the other ones. I think realistically speaking, any type of cryptocurrency investment has a lot of risk. Even the best ones out there, Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's entirely possible that these could go to zero at some point. Right now, there's literally over 9,000 coins on CoinMarketCap, okay? So it's not a meme anymore. There's literally over 9,000 different cryptocurrencies and blockchains. And in my opinion, most of them are going to go to zero. That's why it's very important for you to, for one, have a high risk tolerance. This is not for people who have a low risk tolerance. And then two, make sure to diversify. And then also, number three, of course, make sure to do your research. But anyways, Binance Coin is going to go into B tier, B for best exchange that I've used. Next on the list, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. Now, one thing I want to point out about Bitcoin is Its original use, and I'm literally gonna quote from the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, it was created to allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another party without going through a financial institution, right? So that was the original intention of Bitcoin. It was originally intended to be a currency. It has sort of morphed over the years because of the fact that there's a lot of other cryptocurrencies out there that are much better as currencies. Let's just be honest here. You don't have to pay ridiculous fees, and it happens pretty much instantly with a lot of these other cryptocurrencies. Whereas with Bitcoin, if you were to try to buy like a $10 burger, you would probably end up paying like $20, $30 for it, and it probably wouldn't even go through until the next day. But Bitcoin has basically morphed into somewhere between like a store of value, almost like digital gold, and in my opinion, kind of like a trading card, right? So like the original Babe Ruth trading card of cryptocurrency. So it's somewhere in between those two things, in my opinion. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have a lot of value still. I still think that Bitcoin is gonna go up. It's the most well-known one. A lot of people know what Bitcoin is, but they don't actually know what cryptocurrency is. But with that being said, when it comes to which cryptocurrencies are gonna do the best for the rest of this bull run, I think Bitcoin is kind of relatively safe in my opinion, but there are others that are going to outperform it. So for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into A tier. A for altcoins are way too risky. All right, so speaking of Bitcoin, there were a bunch of different spin-offs from Bitcoin. You had like Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Wrapped Bitcoin, okay? There's a huge controversy that happened with a lot of these ones. I won't really go into it, but basically people disagreed with what the intention of Bitcoin is or the direction that it should go. But the next one we're gonna be talking about on this list is going to be Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash is gonna be all about making cryptocurrency into a currency. So they're going along with what they believe to be the original intention of the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, interestingly enough, I've thought about this quite a bit, and let's say I only had cryptocurrency, I didn't have any cash, and I wanted to be able to pay for a burger. So I want to be able to take my intangible assets, my cryptocurrency, and turn it into a burger that I can eat so that I don't starve. What cryptocurrency would be the best for that? Which one would be the easiest to do that with? Or another way of thinking about this is which one is closest to being a substitute for money? And the answer to that, in my opinion, is Bitcoin Cash. You could argue that maybe Dash is as good as well. Dash is pretty good, but realistically speaking, and you can just do this experiment for yourself, look up local businesses that actually take currencies and see which ones they are. And pretty much the only ones around here that, accept currencies and it's not some kind of ridiculous transaction fee or anything like that, or it would take forever, is Bitcoin Cash and Dash. So Bitcoin Cash, in my opinion, is the closest to actually replacing money, but there's something bad that comes along with that. In order to create a stable currency, that means that it has to be stable, right? So it can't be fluctuating, going up and down all the time like a bunch of the other cryptocurrencies are. So that means that if it is truly a stable currency like they claim that you can use and substitute for cash, chances are you're not going to be getting ridiculous gains from it. So because of that, especially in the short run, the rest of 2021, I don't believe this one is going to be one of the best earners. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one into B tier. B for, now that I mentioned burgers, I'm hungry. Next is going to be another Bitcoin spinoff. This one is going to be Bitcoin Diamond. Without going too deep into a lot of these Bitcoin spinoffs, the only one that seems to be worth anything, in my opinion, is Bitcoin Cash. All of the other ones had a ton of hype. And if you've been in, the cryptocurrency sphere, when these came out, you know what I'm talking about. Like, they had a ton of hype. It has not materialized at all. So Bitcoin Diamond is gonna go into D tier. Bitcoin Gold is next. That one's also gonna go into D tier. And these two are perfect examples of how cryptocurrency is incredibly risky. There was so much hype when these came out. Everybody was saying, oh, you gotta get into them, you gotta get into them, these are the next big thing. And they came out, they spiked really quickly, and then ever since then, they have just gone down, 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 down. So people who went all in on these coins lost a significant amount of money. All right, I'll have the graph pop up. One of them, I think it was Bitcoin Gold. It went up pretty close to $500, and now it's like $5 or something like that. They lost 100x. They didn't gain 100x, they lost it. So this is a perfect example of how cryptocurrencies are very risky. You can't always believe the hype. You should always diversify. So D tier, D for don't believe the hype. So next on the list is going to be BitConnect. Okay, so BitConnect and a bunch of other types of cryptocurrencies out there that basically look like pyramid schemes or MLMs. MLM stands for multi-level marketing. Now, we all look back on BitConnect and laugh now, because it was really obvious to pretty much everybody that BitConnect was a pyramid scheme or an MLM, depending on how you categorize it. But there are thousands, maybe even like tens of thousands of people who got scammed and lost like everything because of BitConnect. So if it seems too good to be true, if it's like some kind of magic money machine where you're putting it in and you're just getting, money back out, I think their excuse was they set up some kind of robot that automatically traded cryptocurrency, and that's how they were able to just like print money. Basically, it's like a magic money machine. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And if they're getting you to recruit other people in, and they have to pay a certain amount of money, well, guess what? That kind of sounds like a pyramid scheme. So you really want to look into it. So anyways, this one's pretty obvious, but now that crypto is heating up again, everybody's talking about it, there are more of these pyramid schemes coming out. Just remember a little bit ago, I was talking to one of my friends and he was like super excited about this random coin. I don't even remember what it is, but I was telling him, I'm like, dude, that sounds like a pyramid scheme. Are you sure? Like, have you done your research on this? And it seems like he almost fell for it. So anyways, this one is gonna go into F tier. F for don't be a fool.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Next on the list is going to be Cardano, and this one is basically known as one of the Ethereum killers. So it is a competitor to Ethereum, and they are probably one of the closest ones to being able to replace what Ethereum said they were going to do. Now, a lot of people would argue that Cardano actually has better technology than Ethereum, and at this particular point, I would have to agree. That doesn't mean that Ethereum isn't going to fix a lot of the problems that they have in the future. They likely will. They keep saying that they're going to, but then they delay it. But right now, at this time, Cardano does have better technology. And also, Cardano has been one of the biggest gainers over the last year or so. So if you were to have invested your stimulus check, for instance, into Cardano, you would have gotten a ridiculous amount of money out of it. But still, I do think that this one is slightly overvalued in the short term. I think this is a really good long-term one, but in the short term, we're talking just 2021, the rest of this bull run, I think it is slightly overvalued compared to some of the other ones on this list. So for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and put this into A tier. A for awesome gains in the last year, maybe not as good going forward. All right, so next one on the list is gonna be Chainlink. You hear a lot about this one on different, subreddits and stuff, and it's another one that deals with smart contracts. And this one is smart contracts, but it is more of a focus on data, which, data, I've told you this many times, it's worth more than oil, it's worth more than gold at this point, and I've explained why that is. Becoming a data scientist is probably one of the best professions you can get into at this point. I do think this one is slightly overrated though in the short run. So for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into B tier. B for should have bought this one back in 2019. Next one on the list is going to be Dogecoin. This is another one that has so much hype behind it. Now, Dogecoin is hilarious. You see like Elon Musk talking about how he's gonna actually put a Doge on the moon, like Dogecoin to the moon, basically like a meme. And, a lot of different celebrities kind of have gotten behind it somewhat. But the original creator of Dogecoin basically said that it was a joke. He said this many times. And yet it still has just caught on because it's achieved meme status. It's basically like invincible now. It's just never gonna go away. This kind of reminds me of the creator of Scientology, who apparently said that it was kind of just created as a joke. He created the religion as a joke, but then it just caught on and then it just couldn't be stopped, especially after he died. So it's possible that this one could go up and up and up just because of the hype, but in terms of the technology, it's just not there, and I don't really see it getting there in the future. But again, I could be totally wrong. A lot of this is kind of just a bubble, and it has more to do with emotion and hype than it has to do with the actual technology itself. So, you know, possibly this one could be the biggest gainer on the list. Nobody really knows. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one into B tier. B for bet you didn't know that a meme could make you into a billionaire. Next one on the list is going to be EOS, and this is supposed to be basically like a decentralized operating system. It's supposed to be designed for commercial use. This one definitely has kind of like a cult following. There's some people who are very, very excited about it. I think at this point it's a little bit overvalued, and for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into C tier. C for cult following. Next on the list is going to be Ethereum. Now, a lot of people know about Ethereum. It's basically, you know, has to do with smart contracts, and it's a much more usable version of Bitcoin. A lot of the other cryptos on this list are actually based on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, I'm a big believer in Ethereum. I think it's very useful. I also think that the team behind Ethereum has been stalling and lagging quite a bit. But overall, I would put this one sort of in a category of being relatively safe. I think it's a relatively safe bet, maybe even safer than Bitcoin, possibly. But it's probably not going to be one of the biggest gainers in the rest of this bull run. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and put Ethereum into A tier. A for all hail our Lord and Savior Vitalik. All right, so next on the list is going to be Filecoin. And this is basically a decentralized storage system for cloud-related services. So cloud computing, cloud storage is extremely hot right now. It's basically one of the most valuable skills that you could learn. It's up there with like, you know, cryptocurrency and machine learning, etc. I'm really excited about this one. I also think it's relatively undervalued, and I think it's gonna go into S tier for this run. S for short-term, huge gains. Next one on the list is Injective Protocol. So Injective Protocol is another project that basically aims to make all of these different exchanges completely decentralized. So right now, if you want to, you know, sign up for an exchange, for instance, a lot of the time, you know, there's a wait list for it, okay? A lot of the time you might live in a state where signing up for that exchange is illegal, right? So there's certain states that are limiting what people can sign up for exchanges. Also, same thing with countries. So they want to make it to where there's no centralized governing body that can tell you what you can and cannot do, which, you know, cryptocurrencies you can and cannot buy. Now, there's a bunch of different cryptos out there that basically do this, but this one is backed by Binance, Pantera, Hash, like they're backed by a bunch of really big companies. So this is one I think is very undervalued right now. It just came out in 2020, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this one into S tier. S for super cool design. All right, next on the list is going to be Litecoin, and this is basically, you know, if Bitcoin is gold, Litecoin is silver. It's supposed to be kind of like a slightly faster version, hence the name Lite, of Bitcoin. So faster transactions with lower fees as well. So with that being said, it has been around for a while. It definitely has a bit of a cult following, but I just think that there are other projects out there that are better. I think it is a little bit overvalued at the moment. And so for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into B tier. B for Bitcoin Lite. Next on the list is going to be Monero. And this is the one that you get if you wanna buy drugs. Just kidding. You go to your doctor, you get a prescription, and then you come to your local pharmacist. They make sure that it's safe, and then they give you the drug. No, but Monero is supposed to be basically kind of like a privacy coin. So, you know, two people could do a transaction with each other without any third party being able to see who they are, or, you know, when the transaction occurred, or any sort of identifying information, right? So Monero has been around for a while, but I actually think that this one is undervalued. A lot of the other coins are going towards sort of the centralized direction, and that basically means that it will be much easier to be governed, right? So it's much easier for the government to have certain regulations on those cryptocurrencies. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that that's kind of the direction that I'm seeing. There's sort of a split happening. Some are going the centralized direction, and some are going the decentralized direction. Now, Monero, of course, would be extremely decentralized because it's hard to even track, you know, where it came from or anything like that. And so if they end up kind of winning this race, then the valuation is just going to go up ridiculously. So I think that everyone should have at least a certain percentage of their portfolio in Monero, because there's a very good chance that they'll end up winning the race. That was like a really stupid way of explaining it, but people who've been in cryptocurrency for a while will know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I think this one's undervalued. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into S tier. Next one on the list is going to be Nano, and this is one where I have really mixed feelings about it. It's supposed to be another one that is a currency, right? So it's supposed to facilitate like digital payments, and it's supposed to be able to, digitally pay people extremely fast, right? So it's gonna be lightning fast and no fees. Now, when it first came out, there was a ton of hype. It soared up to like $30 a coin or something like that. And then ever since then, it's been relatively unimpressive. Now, I think recently it started to pick up again. And because of that, I think that it might be a little bit undervalued at this point. It's one where, it's worth looking into, definitely. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one into S tier. S for selling right now might be a mistake. Next one on the list is going to be Neo, and this is a Chinese project. Now, they're basically aiming at creating a smart economy. Now, I have to say this is one that I was extremely excited about back in, I think, 2017 or so. Back then, I think it was called like Ant Shares or something like that, and then they switched the name to Neo. But anyways, I invested in it when it was around like $2 and it went up to like $30, somewhere around there, 10x. So I was really excited about it. Unfortunately, I didn't invest all that much into it. But then when the 2017, 2018 crash happened, this one went down quite a bit. So the reason I still keep this one here and kind of talk about it a little bit is because it's possible that, China might become like a world superpower, and, this one was really, really big in China. So it's possible that Neo makes a huge comeback, right? But I'm not as sold on it as I was before. I definitely did end up getting out of Neo in time. I made quite a bit of money on it and I got out of it. I didn't invest all that much originally, but overall, I'm gonna go ahead and put Neo into C tier. C for don't sleep on Chinese cryptos. Next on the list, we're gonna be talking about Polkadot, and this is another one that is aiming to be an Ethereum killer, basically a better version of Ethereum. And in my opinion, right now, the technology is a little bit better. And again, this is something that Ethereum can change. They've said they were going to change, they just haven't done it yet. Now, Polkadot had a huge run recently. They've gone up quite a bit recently. I almost put them in S tier just because they're newer and they have been having a great run recently, but I think they might be a little bit undervalued just compared to some of these other ones on the list. And so for that reason, or overvalued, sorry. And so for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into A tier. A for ADA killer. All right, next one on the list is going to be Stellar. This is the one that has the infamous rocket emoji. Another one that is aiming to become a currency that's super fast. There's like a ton of these out there. But anyways, Stellar, it's okay. It's made a bit of a comeback recently. I think that it's slightly overvalued right now, in my opinion, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and put it into B tier. B for best logo. All right, so next on the list is going to be Theta, and this is one that has been a huge gainer in the last year or so. This is a very interesting one, especially, with me being a YouTuber and all. And this one is all about decentralizing video delivery. So basically making a decentralized system that's kind of like YouTube, but also a little bit of, Twitch, because it would be streaming as well. Now, this one has gone up like 100x in the last year. I think this might have been the best one to invest in about 1.5 years ago or so. The question here is it going to continue going up so much the rest of this bull run? I think that it's slightly overvalued, maybe. I'm honestly not 100% sure. This one, I'm kind of on the fence about. I was really close to putting this one into A tier just because it's gone up so much. It's hard to imagine it going up anymore, but it's relatively unique. Like there's not that many other projects, at least not ones that you hear a lot about, that are doing the same thing. Whereas you see with a lot of these other cryptos, they're basically trying to accomplish the same exact thing. And so, only one or two of them is gonna end up winning most likely. And so for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and still put Theta into S tier. I almost put it into A tier though. I don't know why, but I took a picture of Theta twice. So yeah, I'm putting it in there twice. I'll put one into S tier and one into A tier. How's that? Just because I'm on the fence. S for so close to putting it into A tier. All right, so next one on the list is going to be Tron, and this is another one that had a ridiculous amount of hype when it first came out, and they're basically trying to decentralize the internet. Now, this one has a lot of controversy surrounding it. The creator you know, is a guy who does a lot of publicity stunts and stuff like that. So this one, I'm not so excited about it. It's made a bit of a comeback lately, but I don't know, guys. I don't buy this one. There's just something about it. The guy who runs it is just, I don't think he's the creator. He's the CEO. Sorry about that. I misspoke, but I don't know, guys. Not excited about this one. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into D tier. D for didn't buy this one. Again, I could be totally wrong about this. You know, you see Dogecoin spiking up, and you know, who would have predicted that? Everybody thought it was a joke and it was over with, and then all of a sudden it spiked up. So I could be totally wrong about this. Make sure you do your own research. Next one on the list is going to be Uniswap. This is another one that's basically trying to be a decentralized trading platform. I think Uniswap is extremely useful, especially if you're trying to find coins. You know, a lot of the time you have to sign up to like 5 different exchanges just to find a coin, but if you sign up for Uniswap, chances are you're going to be able to find it. So Uniswap, very excited about this one. I think it's relatively undervalued. I think it's one that is at the forefront of winning this whole decentralized exchange battle that a bunch of them are battling out. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put this one into S tier. All right, guys, so this video is getting a little bit long, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say the rest of the ones on the list. VE Chain, I put that one into S tier. It's basically supply chain management. So, you know, supply chain management's huge. We've seen Amazon master that, and they became one of the most valuable companies in the world. So yeah, a blockchain that focuses on supply chain management and making it as efficient as possible. I think it's an awesome project. That one goes into S tier. D, Dark Doge, Verge. Okay, Verge, Dogecoin Dark. Not super excited about that one. Again, another crypto that's trying to latch onto a big name, like, you know, all the Bitcoin ones, you know, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, and all that. Not a big fan of that one. I think it goes into D tier. Same with Wrapped Bitcoin, another one that's trying to latch onto the Bitcoin name. That one goes into D tier. And then I have a dark horse, okay? This one is a dark horse. It's gonna be XRP, also known as Ripple. This one has a huge cult following, like a huge fan base. At one point, it went up to like a very high amount, and it's been kind of, you know, relatively stable since then. Also, it's supposed to be a coin that is supposed to be like regulation friendly, yet recently the SEC went after them. So those two things don't make any sense to me. Like, this is supposed to be a centralized coin that's regulation friendly, yet the SEC is going after them harder than almost anybody else. Like, what gives here? That doesn't make any sense to me. However, if they're able to get past this, you know, this SEC thing, the exchanges start allowing them to be, you know, bought and sold and traded again, I see this one potentially spiking again. All right, so I'm gonna put it in B tier, but honestly, this is kind of a dark horse. It could be really, really big. Also, I just want to mention really quickly, I'm not some kind of crypto genius. I have a full-time job and I'm a YouTuber. I don't have time to spend forever researching crypto, okay? So there are certain channels here on YouTube that I think are really good. A lot of crypto channels kind of just come and go. And then there's some channels that, you know, are good for a while and they're not as good later on. If I don't mention some of those channels, if those people are watching, I probably have nothing against you, don't worry. But some of the ones I really like watching right now, I just wrote a few of them down. Invest Answers, new channel, relatively small, but I really like how he breaks stuff down in a mathematical way. Coin Bureau, really well known. Benjamin Cohen, Journey Crypto, JRNY Crypto. Sheldon Evans, very kind of a minimalist, really good aesthetic on his channel. I like his, I think he uses the same camera as me, I'm pretty sure. Digital Asset News as well is great. Yeah, and there's others that I can't remember. I just didn't write them down. None of this I came up with on my own. All of these I heard about them from either Reddit, YouTube, different articles and posts. And then always do your own research, okay? Trust but verify. Always do your own research. These are some great sources, but you want to make sure to, you know, the ones they mention make sure to always do your own research on them and you just see if you agree with them. And also, I just want to repeat this again. This is very risky. Cryptocurrency investing is very risky. This is a decent time to get into it, but nobody really knows when the bull run is going to end. It could end tomorrow or it could end like 2 years from now. Nobody really knows for sure. Most people think it's going to end around the end of 2021. I sort of think a little bit before the end, maybe like August or September is when it's going to end. But basically what's going to happen is, you see Bitcoin and Ethereum going up. This is what usually happens. And then it'll start to go down at some point. People will take it out of Bitcoin and Ethereum, put it into altcoins. Altcoins are going to shoot up. So there is going to be a time period there where you sort of do have to kind of, really closely monitor what's happening in the market. Some of these altcoins are going to go up a lot, and then when the bull run is over, they are going to crash a lot. So you really do have to keep your thumb on the pulse. This is not completely passive. I usually prefer mostly passive investments. And on this channel, anybody who's been following it, most of my portfolio is in index funds and tax advantage retirement accounts. However, especially because of it being a bull run right now, I do have quite a bit in crypto. In my opinion, I think it's a good idea to invest maybe 5% of your portfolio into crypto. And I think it's actually risky to not invest in crypto because there is a chance that the financial markets in the world might collapse, especially with everybody printing money. And if that happens, there's a very good chance most people are going to put their money into cryptocurrency, and crypto will be the new currency of the world. So again, I'm not some kind of like end of the world type person. There's a lot of people think that it's like, oh, it's gonna happen in the next 6 months. I don't know about that, okay? I think there's a lot of different factors that go into it. Nobody really knows, but if that does happen, cryptos are probably going to go up in value quite a bit. But with that being said, make sure to gently tap that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, comment down below any thoughts, comments, criticisms, etc. that you have on the video. Any of these cryptos, if you think that I'm right about it or I'm wrong about it, let me know down below. And before you leave, check out my other videos right here. I made them just for you.